feel a strange mental fog roll in when someone asks what you were like as a kid. It's as if you're staring at a book with a decade of pages ripped out right from the center. You weren't necessarily miserable, but you realize that somewhere between learning to ride a bike and graduating high school, you lost the version of yourself that was allowed to just exist. Here at Quiet Pressure Sketchbook, we explore those silent shifts in our identity. And today I want to look at the space where a childhood should have been. Growing up too soon doesn't always look like a tragedy on the news. Usually it's much more subtle. It's the 7-year-old who knows exactly which burner on the stove works best because they're the ones making dinner. It's the teenager acting as a diplomatic bridge between warring parents, or the toddler who learned to decode the tension in a room before they could even finish a sentence. There is a specific kind of internal hardening that happens when the world demands you be an adult. Before you've even had a chance to be a person, that younger version of you didn't just vanish. They became the blueprint for the adult you are today. Imagine a third grader who suddenly finds themselves as the emotional anchor of their home. They didn't sign up for the job, but the vacancy was there, so they filled it. Professionals often label this parentification, a situation where the roles of caretaker and child are flipped. But that's a clinical way of describing the crushing weight of carrying a mountain on shoulders that were meant for a backpack. Research by experts like Dr. Lisa M. Hooper highlights that while these kids appear incredibly mature or together, it's actually a sophisticated survival strategy. Your brain didn't just grow up, it went into high alert mode and stayed there. This history turns you into a master of observation. You can detect a shift in the atmosphere the moment someone walks through the front door. You've become an expert at solving puzzles before they even become problems. While these feel like gifts, they come with a heavy tax. That Quiet Pressure Sketchbook aims to help you unpack. The irony is that people who survive the big stuff often crumble under the small things. Resting without a sense of impending doom, being goofy, or simply asking for a hand feels like a betrayal of your own strength. You didn't just learn a habit, you wired your entire soul to believe that stability is your sole responsibility. In your adult life, this often manifests as a magnetic pull toward people who are struggling. Being the fixer or the reliable one feels safe because for you, being useful was the only way to feel loved. You might find that true intimacy feels terrifyingly like a weakness. Vulnerability was a luxury you couldn't afford when you were 10. So why would you trust it now? This is why you might feel most at home with partners who are distant. It's a dynamic you already know how to manage. When someone actually shows up for you consistently, it feels suspicious, like a trap you're waiting to spring. Then there is the obsession with control. Isn't about being bossy, it's about a deep, quiet fear of the unknown. If you can predict every outcome and plan for every disaster, think you'll be safe. People might call you a perfectionist, but you're really just a kid who remembers what happened the last time something went wrong. This leads to exhaustion that no amount of sleep can touch. Your body is tired of being a sentry on a wall that no longer needs guarding. Society actually cheers for this kind of damage. We love self-sufficient people who never complain and always deliver. We reward the productivity but never ask about the cost of the engine. You've become a master of emotional labor, keeping everyone else comfortable while you're privately suffocating. You can be in a crowded room and feel like an island because no one sees the immense effort it takes to keep your world spinning. Admitting you're tired feels like failing the one job you were built for. So how do we start to unravel this? It begins with a period of mourning. You have to grieve for the child who never got to be messy, loud, or dependent. Acknowledging that you deserved a childhood isn't being ungrateful, it's being truthful. You have to realize that your value isn't a byproduct of your utility. You aren't a machine designed to solve problems. You are a human being who is allowed to just be. Learning to be cared for is a brand new skill. If you feel like a beginner at it, that's because you are. Whether you're 30 or 60, it is never too late. Someone else carried the weight for a while. That resourceful, brave child did a heroic job of getting you here, but they don't have to work anymore. It is finally safe to let go of the rope. If this perspective helped you today, I'd love for you to join the Quiet Pressure Sketchbook community by subscribing or becoming a member to support more of these reflections. What would happen if you finally stopped trying to save everyone else, started looking after yourself?